The Memphis Grizzlies' 9th overall pick Zach Edey was a force to be reckoned with at Purdue, but coming into the NBA, many people had doubts on whether or not Edey could adjust to the pace and space at the next level. And while there still is some unanswered questions, I think Zach Edey so far in the preseason has looked like a very promising center. Now, standing at a towering 7'4" and weighing over 300 pounds, Edey is an absolute wrecking ball in the paint. If he catches anywhere around the basket, it's pretty much impossible to move him off his spot and push him out into a more difficult look. And on top of that lumbering size, Zach also has really good timing around the basket, making him an easy above the rim lob threat. And that's obviously going to make him a very effective pick and roll man with Ja Morant.
More natural.
When catching and finishing in traffic, Zach is also great at keeping the ball up and above his shoulders, which both prevents swipes from shorter defenders and draws more fouls around the basket. And while he may not finish every single play, he always catches with the intent to score and explode through contact. Edey also has a really good feel of space, being able to read where the defense is shifting to then relocate to open spots and set up these easy catch and finishes. Notice here how the ball is being driven towards the baseline, which pulls the attention of Edey's man. So in response, he's going to simply relocate up towards the middle of the paint, setting up this routine jump hook. Edey's underrated movement also opens the door for Memphis to run some different off-ball screening actions. Watch them here set this screen for him on the opposite block. And once Edey catches the ball in the deep paint, there's nothing stopping him from turning and finding a scoring window. Now, this is a good time to go over Edey's post game, and for the most part, his scoring on the block is pretty straightforward. Everything comes back to him establishing position and setting up these jump hooks over his left shoulder. When getting into these looks, Zach has really polished mechanics by protecting the ball on his outside hip and keeping his shoulders bladed to create a lift path. And on these jump hooks, Edey also has elite touch, being able to sink these shots from 10 to 12 feet out. But outside of getting into these right-hand hooks, I don't think Zach right now has the most in-depth post game. You'll very rarely see him use any kind of shot fake, different pivots, or create counters off that go-to jump hook. And we're already seeing defenders heavily sit on Zach's right side. Notice here how the ball side corner is empty, and Edey has all this space to his left to turn into. Plus, you can also see how heavily this defender is playing on his right side, but Zach still forces up this tough jump hook. In order for Edey to become a consistent on-the-block scorer from a night-to-night basis, he's going to have to add more to his post bet. I would love to see more plays like this, where the defense is overplaying him on his right, so he's going to simply turn back over to his left. When playing off the ball, Edey can also do plenty of damage on the offensive glass, where if he establishes interior position, it's pretty much impossible to move him off his spot. So that pretty much sums up Edey's scoring right now. We have seen him take a few threes so far in the preseason, but I doubt that these looks are going to consistently be in his shot diet throughout his rookie year. But regardless, Edey can still provide a ton of scoring with his play finishing, post game, ability to draw fouls, plus his presence on the offensive glass. We haven't seen him match up with a truly elite defensive center yet, but I still think Zach has enough in his game to give Memphis consistent scoring on a night-to-night basis. Now, when switching over and looking at Edey's defense, this is where we have more unanswered questions. To start off with the things we do know, Zach is going to immediately be an elite rim protector, where obviously his size in the paint by itself will eliminate and alter counts of shots each game, and we already saw that effect throughout the preseason. Watch Andrew Nembhard here get this blow by to his right, but with Edey sitting in the deep paint, he's forced to stop and settle for this more difficult bank shot. And because Zach has such a solid physical base, it's really hard for players to create finishing angles by attacking his body. We'll see Zach LaVine here do the right thing on paper by picking up and stepping into Edey's body, but that's still not enough to create a finishing angle. When defending in pick and roll, Zach is already a pretty effective drop defender, where he's great at putting himself in position to stop the ball while also taking away the pass back to the roll man. I love this clip here, where Dallas tries to use this screen and re-screen action with Gafford, but Zach's got the footwork and coordination to work around and alter this finish at the rim. Now this is where I have some mixed feelings, because Edey for sure looks great on a bunch of these clips, but we've yet to see him go up against a truly elite creator in pick and roll. So while I think Edey has a good foundation for playing drop coverage, I am curious to see what's going to happen when he's defending a Luka Doncic or Trae Young in pick and roll, because those guys are elite at playing with pace and manipulating the defense. And the truth is, Edey has no experience defending anybody of that caliber, and I also have similar feelings about Zach's perimeter defense. Again, the film on paper looks really good. He's comfortable stepping out to the level and using his length to contest shots. Plus, he's also demonstrated some good footwork and balance in isolation, being able to rotate his hips and keep the ball in front, funneling the offense into difficult contested jumpers. This is my favorite clip of the entire video, where Patrick Williams catches the ball with a head of steam in transition, and he's going to hit a left to right push cross. But notice how Edey has the coordination to swivel his hips to then time Patrick's finish. This is also a really impressive clip right here, where Indiana is going to run this flare screen for Mathurin, and Zach's going to stunt down to help on this drive. But then he's able to scramble back out to Miles Turner on the perimeter to run him off the line, slide with his attack, and force him into this tough contested three. We'll see him put everything together on this play, where Zach first slides down and puts himself in perfect drop position, to then again close out and take away the immediate shot and drive for Turner. Then he goes right back to playing drop and funnels Mathurin into a miss at the rim.
Mathurin has been quiet, goes inside.
So again, the film for Edey right now looks very good. He's got the size to be an elite interior defender, plus he looks very good shifting out and rotating on the perimeter. But again, we haven't seen him matched up with any real offensive juggernauts, and there's still a ton of unanswered questions. But I still think it's safe to say that Zach's going to be at least a steady defender for Memphis. We don't know exactly what's going to happen if he's matched up with one of the NBA's premier centers, or if he's forced to step out and guard some of the league's most dynamic backcourt creators. So we'll just have to wait to see what happens. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what rookie you want to see me break down next. The Kids here.